G'day, it's Geoff Lewis here from Seriously Series, and Happy New Year. That's right, another year has passed us by. But for 2019, it's been a big year here at Seriously Series. And to be honest, we've got a big year coming up in 2020. I've just got back from a trip, just a personal trip, a bit of R&R you could say, over the Christmas and New Year. I did probably, must have been 2,000 or 2,500 kilometres in the Land Rover Series 3 here behind me, testing out a new piece of kit, the Roma Drive overdrive system, and I was really impressed. But I did take a little bit of footage of the trip too, and after this intro I'll leave you to see the Landy in action on the beach, and then we'll get straight down to business. Bit of a recap of 2019, and more importantly, an in-depth look at what's coming up for you in 2020. It should be an exciting video, so stay tuned. So as you can see, the Series 3 is running well. It's finally back on the road. It spent a lot of 2019, quite a bit of 2018 to be honest, in the workshop or in my shed. I've spent a lot of hours working on it. I won't go into it too much, but I've probably spent a lot more time working on it than I first envisaged when I first bought it. But as I said to Jason from Overlanding Adventures, who came down to the Perth 4-wheel drive show with me and featured on Cocktails by the Campfire, I finally feel that it's my vehicle. And I'm sure a few of you feel that when you get to sort of the end of a restoration, or you've overhauled something and you finally feel like you pretty much know every single nut and bolt and component in that piece of equipment. And for me, I find it to be very satisfying and sort of very secure, in the sense that if something does go wrong, because I've been through everything, I pretty much know the standard that it's sort of been, I guess, overhauled or rebuilt to. So, you know, it is actually a really nice feeling. But anyway, as I said, you've seen it in action. It's working really well. I'm really excited for 2020 because I want to get it out of the shed and I want to get out there, film more, do more adventures, and get them out to you guys and girls out there on YouTube. So basically, where have we come? I think that's a good question. You know, 2019 has been a big year. I won't go into all the details because many of you who watch these update videos obviously follow our exploits on Instagram, Facebook and YouTube, and magazine articles and all the rest, and we here at Seriously Series very much appreciate that, so thank you. But you know, we started off with launching a new series, Unique 4x4, and many of you have really enjoyed those videos. I've been looking at the statistics that you can view on YouTube, and we've been getting a lot of views on those videos, so it's something that we want to continue to do in 2020. Really keen to try and find some more, you know, unique vehicles. And what I sort of classify as unique vehicles is sort of having a tale behind them. They don't have to be an off-road going vehicle per se, but it's the story. It's the story that makes something. You know, if you want to sell a product, it doesn't even really come down to the product itself. It comes down to the story behind that product. And I believe in regards to documentary filmmaking, it's very much the case. You can have a very dry subject, but if you have a fascinating story associated with that, then people are going to be enthralled. So I think that's pretty much the essence of Unique 4x4, at least it is for me. So I've got a couple vehicles potentially lined up. I've got to do a little bit more research into when I can sort of fit them in. One is in a motoring museum, so I've got to liaise with them to see if they're okay for us to actually film in the museum. And you know, we're more than willing to help them out with exposure. But anyway, so that's Unique 4x4. We launched that. Part 2 of Edge of the Earth in Tasmania went really well. I was really satisfied with it. Damon was too. That's the kind of documentaries we really want to make. And the whole reason behind Edge of the Earth was to sort of show the new look for Seriously Series. So that was very successful. Another big milestone is we had another magazine article come out, and this was in 4-Wheel Drive Touring magazine. And I really regard 4-Wheel Drive Touring magazine to be probably one of the best Australian run, published 4-wheel drive adventure magazines out there. They're much more of a pictorial magazine as opposed to, you know, just all about the vehicle. They're more about the journey, and that's something I really sort of relate to quite heavily. So, you know, that was fantastic, and it's a big milestone for us because we've published articles in Land Rover Pacific magazines in the past, but to sort of go into more of a, I guess, a mainstream magazine was, you know, a really, you know, momentous occasion for us. And then obviously the Perth 4-Wheel Drive show. I was absolutely chuffed with the team at Toyo Tyres. They asked us to come back and sort of, I guess, help out with the stand and sort of show off the Series 3 and sort of showcase a vehicle that's actually getting out there. And, you know, apart from being in the shed a fair bit, but when it is, it's out there as it is today, conquering the great beyond and using their tyres to great effect. And look, we are really happy with the Toyo Tyre open country mud terrains. So much so we've actually got a set going on another vehicle, or it's just gored onto another vehicle, I should say. And then even more, you know, news in 2019. Damon and I are getting very close. I've said this a number of times, but we are getting very close to finishing the short film, the compressed version of the 6 or 5 part series of our Canning stock route trip called Road to Ruin. It's been a rather sort of lengthy project and will continue to be. And one of the reasons behind it is we sort of had to go back and re-edit it, and we had to sort of change up the storyline a little bit. It just didn't sort of gel quite right. And Damon's done a fantastic job on that. and considering also Damon is working abroad currently at this stage, so he's sort of working on it when he can find the time, and helping out with Instagram, or sort of running Instagram when he can, and he's doing a fantastic job. But my aspect of it, I've been sort of looking into the marketing side of it, because what we hope to do, and I sort of mentioned this before, I think in another update video, is we're sort of hoping we might be able to distribute it by a couple different sort of mediums, and hopefully the profit from that will allow us to potentially, and look, we're just giving it the best possible chance. Right, sorry, I had to stop filming there. The flies were getting a little bit friendly. But basically, what was I saying? Yes, so we're hoping that we can distribute it through a number of different mediums, and we're just giving it the best shot we can. And if it ends up being that we can do this as a full-time venture, then great. If it doesn't work out and we end up, not generating as much funds as we wanted to, we've learnt from it. So that's why Road to Ruin is sort of taking a long time, and it is it's something I've got very little experience in. I've been reading what I can and talking to anyone that'll sort of listen about it, to sort of figure it all out myself. So that leaves 2019, 2020. Let's make it sharp and quick, eh? But 2020 is going to be a big year. As I said, more episodes of Unique 4x4. We're going to be doing more reviews, and I've sort of held off doing reviews on equipment. And the reason why I have is because I don't see the point in doing a review on a piece of equipment or a piece of kit unless I've, either myself or Damon, have tried, tested the piece of kit, and if we haven't done as much research as possible into how it works, how to get the most out of it, because otherwise we can't present to you a good, informative review. It's just me sitting here in front of a camera saying, this is really good, go out and buy it, and that's not the point. Certainly not from my point of view. And some of the bits of kit that we've got are pretty technical, pretty high tech, so we've sort of got to the point where we're pretty comfortable with the idea of actually presenting some information, presenting some little tricks, and that can help you out. So we'll be doing a few more reviews in 2020. Obviously more Landy tips will obviously crop up in there too, a few more bush tricks, and then in July of 2020 we've got another big trip planned. I know it's crazy, we haven't even finished Road to Ruin and we're looking at doing another trip, and the reason why we're looking at doing that is sort of to keep the momentum. Because Damon and I work full time, it does take a little bit longer for us to do things because we're juggling that, the full-time job, the life out of that, and commitments, and then managing this on the side. So either way, it keeps us out of trouble. So if we go out, we film the trip, if it takes us 6 months, 9 months to edit it and get it all up to spec, then, so be it. But it means by the time Road to Ruin is hopefully finished, we've got another adventure documentary series coming out. So it just keeps things rolling nicely. And look, our Patreons actually know about this trip. I talked to them about it probably 2 or 3 months ago. Look, what we're planning on doing is going to the heart of Australia, what I believe to be the true centre of Australia. And this is the Red Centre. We're looking at actually going to Uluru or Ayers Rock, depending on what school you went to, and we'll be spending a lot of time around the Olgas. I'm more interested in filming the Olgas than Ayers Rock, because there's a few tales associated with the Olgas that I find really, really fascinating. And from there we're going to end up heading south down to Warpton. We'll be hopefully stopping off at the Giles weather station, because that's got a really fascinating past. And then from Warburton, we're going to be heading pretty much all the way due south. And we're going to be following and travelling on a road known as the Connie Sue. And I sort of came up with this concept probably about 12 months ago. And I know quite a few people have sort of done it since. And that's great. It's good to see more and more people getting out there and documenting their trips and putting them up on YouTube. So we're going to explore sort of the history of the Connie Sue. Who was Len Bedell? What did he do? Why were these roads put into these inaccessible parts of the world back in the 50s and 60s? It's pretty interesting. And then, looking at the Nullarbor, a lot of people say the Nullarbor is a boring, barren environment. I really disagree with that. It's actually really fascinating. So we'll do that. We'll go down to Rulina. We'll have a little look at the railway siding town there. And obviously then from there we'll head south all the way down to Cocklebiddy, and then Cocklebiddy we'll head down to Twilight Cove, where Damon and I actually went on our first big adventure across Australia, and that was, getting close to nearly 5 years ago. Wow, time flies when you're having fun, hey? So we're going to do that. So that's going to be really exciting. We're allowing probably 3.5 weeks to do it. We're going to be taking the Series 3 again. We'll be taking a support vehicle. I'll let you know more about that, about the support vehicle and what we're going to take. We're probably going to take a Land Rover Parenti, the one that I've got here in WA, just purely because it's got the 24 volt system on board, and it means we can charge all our camera gear, run both the fridges, and we don't have to worry about batteries becoming flat and having to manage how to charge this and that and all the rest. So that's going to be really interesting. Following on from that, we will be having a new vehicle that will be joining the fleet in 2020 also. And this vehicle is a very unique vehicle. It is a Series Land Rover. Yes, it is a Series Land Rover. It is not brand new Defender. Even though my wife and I have discussed the new Defender and she does need a new car. I don't know about that. The new Defender looks great, but there's plenty of people out there on YouTube with their own opinions. You can go and listen to them. So anyway, that's sort of what we've got planned for 2020 at this stage, and hopefully towards the end of that we might be back at the Perth 4-Wheel Drive show. We might not. We'll have to wait and see. But look, a big thank you to everyone for 2019. For those of you who've been following us over the last, as I just said, 4 or 5 years, thank you very much for sticking with us. For those of you who've just recently subscribed to our channel, or met myself or Jace at the Perth 4-Wheel Drive show, thank you very much. A big thank you to our sponsors and contributors here at Seriously Series, and also a big thank you to our Patreons out there. It's you guys and girls that make these videos possible, and also a big thank you to our supporters via our website. That's right, you can go onto our website, you can access our PayPal account, and you can make a one-time donation. And a lot of people do actually do that. So a big thank you to you also. And look, so 2020 should be a pretty awesome year here at Seriously Series. Anyway, best of luck and best wishes to you for your 2020. Hopefully you get out there, do those trips, do those adventures that you've been wanting to do. And look, if you want to see more videos and get more action from behind the scenes, get those videos before anyone else does, and much more, please check out our Patreon page by clicking on the Patreon icon at the top right hand corner of your screen. And also, if you're new to the channel and you want to see more videos like this, find out what Seriously Series is all about and much more, click on the subscribe button down below, click on that notification button next to it, and you will not miss out on one single video. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in our next video.